What's up, y'all? It's your boy Moleman3000, and today we are continuing the discussion of min-maxing. This video is about physical training and how it's the best way to earn XP in the min-maxing process. Before we continue with this video, this is the fourth video in a playlist of videos all about min-maxing. So if you haven't started from the beginning, click right here to do that. Thank you very much, appreciate it. The last few videos have all been about retaining the XP that we earn in a day by plugging the XP gaps. And we are plugging these XP gaps by building good habits. Now it's time to get down and dirty. Now it is time to actually start earning XP. Hey bro, yo, it's story time. Let's take a minute to place ourselves in the role of the RPG character. You are tasked with a mission by some rando villagers. The mission is to decimate a population of wolves that keep attacking the town. To start off, you are armed with the most rudimentary of weapons, let's say an iron sword, and perhaps a wooden shield. After running around for about 20 minutes, which, by the way, you are running because no one playing any sort of video game has the time to be walking around, you finally kill all the wolves and are compensated with a staggering 3 silver and 44 copper. Trash. You manage to collect a bunch of completely and utterly useless knickknacks along your journey, which overall probably weighs about 20 pounds. You bring it to a vendor, and after haggling for about like 20 minutes for how much money you should get, you walk away from the merchant with 20 less pounds on your back and a staggering 1 extra silver. This may seem pretty simple, but in reality, this scenario, it sucks. First of all, most people wouldn't be able to run for 20 minutes, let alone running across entire continents like they do in World of Warcraft and other MMORPGs. It just wouldn't happen. Secondly, the amount of miscellaneous crap that you pick up along your way is just gonna weigh you down, and it's gonna slow you down. A sword can weigh up to 8 pounds. 8 pounds might not seem like a lot, but if you have ever tried to pick up a cast iron pot with one hand and raise it above your head, you would know it's hard. It's very hard. It's very difficult. So, most likely, probably wouldn't be able to wield the weapon. Now think about how many times these characters are having to swing their weapon around in order to kill just one freaking wolf, man. Like 1 billion times. They have to swing this thing like 40 billion times just to kill one measly wolf. And wolves are like the weaker enemies of the game, man. We're talking about like level 1 enemies. Now, think about how quickly they are swinging these things around, man. They're making iron swords look like the cardboard freaking paper towel holders, man. It's like light as a feather, dude. Unrealistic. Now put all of these elements together and you got the scenario, right? Now, you, as you are right now, are all alone in the woods by yourself. You're carrying around 20 pounds of useless junk that you're maybe gonna get like 50 cents for. You're carrying around a weapon that you can't even use because it's too freaking heavy to lift above your head. And you're trying to hunt wolves. Like a pack of wolves. These things are bred to kill. These are born hunters. And you, as you are right now, are trying to hunt these natural born killers. It's just not an ideal scenario. The point is, without any sort of physical training, without achieving a minimum stat threshold, that quest you got assigned, it would end way earlier than it would begin. Part 1, we're talking about why training is important. The answer to this question can be answered pretty easily if you want a very surface level answer. If you work out, you get stronger, and potentially, maybe down the line, you might look pretty sexy. Although these are true facts and decent enough motivation on their own to start training, I believe there is a deeper, more fundamental reason as to why we need to be training. What if I told you that if you started training on a consistent basis, all of your stats would be increased simultaneously? All of them. Allow me to elaborate. The brain is what creates our mind. The brain is part of your body. Therefore, the mind is an extension of our body. The mind is very easily susceptible to the changes that occur in your body. Like, real easy. If you're not sleeping enough or eating enough, like, every day, chances are you're gonna be in a pretty crap mood for the rest of the day. Okay, what does this have to do with working out? Well, I'll tell you. It has to do with brain fog, man. Brain fog. We have all experienced it at some point. You start losing your concept of time, you don't know what day it is, your vision starts to get fuzzy, colors appear duller, getting up to go to the bathroom seems like a chore, and just the thought alone of doing something productive is enough to cause nausea. These are all symptoms of brain fog, and brain fog is caused by a sedentary, unhealthy lifestyle. You see, our body is the mechanism we use to engage with the world. When we're physically active, our brain activity skyrockets. We are helping to supply oxygen to our brains. Precious oxygen is flowing so much easier and gracefullier in our brains when we're moving around and doing stuff. Physical activity also helps to support the process of neurogenesis, aka your brain is making more brain cells. When you're training, when you're working out, when you're moving your body, you are making more brain cells. A stronger body leads to a stronger, sharper mind. Activate your body and your brain, your mind will follow. It is time to engage in reality. Part 2, different types of training. Now we're talking about training itself. There's a bunch of different types of training. We've got cardio, calisthenics, which is body weight training. And then we got weightlifting. Then there's a bunch of different stuff we could be training for. Hypertrophy is a fancy word for muscle growth. Then we can train for cardiovascular endurance and we can train for power. Here are the definitions for all the things that I just listed. If you need a minute, please pause the video, read the definitions clearly, then press the play button to resume. Thank you. There's also flexibility and mobility. Once again, I have outlined the definitions of these terms right here for you to read. It is in my humble opinion that every beginner should be focusing on flexibility, mobility, cardio, and calisthenics. Why now? Hey, first of all, I don't like your attitude. Second of all, here's why. Chill out, alright? We'll get there. You need to start doing it before we get to the advanced stuff, alright? When we are training, we are practicing our ability to move our bodies and weight throughout space. We are also learning how to activate and engage our muscles actively. Because when you haven't used your muscles in a while, you probably don't know what it feels like to be using them. I know this for a fact. I've been training for a minute, right? So, yeah, if you've never worked out, if you've never lifted weights before, you don't really know what mind-muscle connection is yet. You don't know what it feels like when your muscle is contracting. You don't know what it feels like when your muscle is being engaged. So, training is the practice of engaging our muscles, learning how to actually consciously use them. We're not just throwing weight around, right? We're not just doing push-ups. We're not just running. We are engaging particular muscles in a certain movement, in a certain pattern. Our body itself is a weight. We weigh a certain amount of pounds. If we're having a hard time moving our body around as it is, adding more weight to that is only gonna make things more dangerous. It's just a bad idea. To run, all you need are shoes. To do push-ups, to do sit-ups, to do Supermans, all you need is a floor. There's no escaping a floor, all right? It's literally everywhere. The earth is a gigantic round floor. You can do inverted rows to work your back by placing a broom on 2 chairs. If you don't have a broom and 2 chairs, then I think we need to have a conversation. I think you're having bigger issues than just like working out. In calisthenics, we increase the difficulty of the exercises by changing the movement itself. For example, a handstand push-up is substantially more difficult than a regular push-up, which is a lot more difficult than a knee push-up. In weightlifting, you increase the difficulty by increasing the weight. Unless you know what you are doing, I believe it's far easier to hurt yourself when you are weightlifting than when you are doing calisthenics. It is far easier to overestimate your abilities when you are weightlifting and load too much weight on the bar than it is to attempt a handstand push-up. You just won't be able to get into the position. Like, you just can't do it. If you've never benched before and you're loading 2 45 plates on each side, the bar bar itself weighs 45 pounds as well, by the way. That's like 225 pounds that you're trying to lift and you've never lifted weights before. You know what's gonna happen? That bar is gonna come crashing down on your neck and decapitate you. That's it. It's curtains. You're done. You don't come back from that. However, when you are doing the push-ups, the worst thing that can happen is your muscles fatigue, your muscles fail, you smack your face on the floor. No big deal. World is not over. You'll be fine. Now, I'm not telling you to avoid weightlifting. Of course not. That would be stupid. There are some weightlifting exercises that are substantially easier than their calisthenic counterpart. For example, a lat pull down is substantially easier than a full ass pull up. Another example, an overhead press with a 45-pound bar or like 10-pound dumbbells, substantially easier than trying to do a handstand push-up. The goal is injury prevention, and we can do this by trying to maximize the ability for our body to move around effectively and efficiently. We need to focus on the movement we want to execute, not the weight we want to push. We have to build a solid foundational strength before we can move on to more advanced exercises. We have to build foundational strength because if we start with the advanced stuff, we're just gonna get hurt. And that's stupid. If you hurt yourself, you're setting yourself back. You have to start at a lighter weight, or you have to start with even easier exercises because you have to wait for your muscles to recover. That is counterintuitive to what we're trying to do here. Don't do that. Please, I'm begging you. What's up, y'all? If you're watching this, it means you've gotten to the end of the video, which I do so greatly appreciate. The reason I'm here is to tell you that I'm splitting this video into 2 different parts because it just got a little bit too long. You see, these 20-minute videos, they ain't doing too well on my channel. I post them and I'm bored watching a 20-minute video. So hopefully this increases viewer retention. Anyway, as always, I have put some links in the description that I think will be very helpful to you. Once again, these are affiliated links, which means with every purchase sold, I get a small percentage of that sale. So, that being said, please don't purchase anything if 1, you don't have the money to buy it, 2, you're not genuinely interested in the things that are in the links, and 3, certainly do not buy it if you don't think you're actually going to use it every day. Alright, y'all. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.